Hey YouTube, this is Korikai. I did an R4 video not too long ago. Actually, it has been a long time, and it didn't really get a lot of views. So even though it was supposed to be a 6-part series, I didn't really continue it. But I got subscriber after subscriber and friend invite after friend invite. So I was like, what the hell? Why not? Just post our videos up there. But the ROMs on my R4 have changed pretty considerably since I did the 6-part video. I actually did it in advance. And we're going to post it up part by part, week by week, but since it didn't get views, I was just like, fuck it. But now that people are, kind of interested in me, what I do, I decided to redo the 6-part series because half the ROMs that are on there when I started it are completely gone because they sucked. Well, they didn't suck, but I either beat them or I found ROMs that were better or what have you. Most of them still exist. Now, I set this in the other videos just because a game's not on here that you like or a game's not on here that you think is good doesn't mean I don't think it's good. It either means one of two things. It means either I beat it and there's no point in having it because it's a waste of space, or I don't have the space for it because I have other stuff currently occupying it. Also, some games, unless you want to pay like $60–70 for them, are imports, and unless you have an R4 to get it for free, like me, it's gonna be pretty hard to find. So I don't know if it's gonna be 6-part like I thought it was. I might run through ROMs faster than some other ROMs. We'll just go and see how it is. First two ROMs on here are Advanced Wars Dual Strike and Advanced Wars Days of Ruin respectively. I love Advanced Wars. I love strategy RPGs. Basically, Advanced Wars is strategy RPG. It's not really about story. The story for Dual Strike is kind of comical. It gets the point across, but it's more about humor than the actual main idea. I mean, you get the main idea of the story, but it's not like a really serious story. Days of Ruin, on the other hand, is more like this dark, apocalyptic story where the story actually does make more of an impact. Now this isn't like, like Final Fantasy Tactics Advance where like you represent people. These are, you represent what you make. Infantry, tanks, APC, which is Armored Patrol Car, transport copters, helicopters, just units that you create. So it's not like Final Fantasy Tactics where you have like jobs and stuff like soldier and paladin and thief and all that. You have actual units, and these battles run a very long time depending on how big the map is. It can either run from 20 minutes, it could be 3 hours, especially if you have 4 people on a really large map. So I recommend Advanced Wars to anybody. If you've never played a strategy RPG before, you might want to start off with this. Now, I do have to warn you that Dual Strike and Days of Ruin are considerably different. For one, Days of Ruin is probably one of the hardest games you'll ever play in your entire life if you have no sense of strategy. I kind of do, but I get really impatient. Just like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, that's my mindset for a lot of shit. So, they're both really good games, and try it out if you can find it. Since all my games are basically free, I don't give a shit how much it costs, but I think they run around 20 U's if you go to your local GameStop. This game, Bangai Spirits, is probably, when I was buying DS games instead of downloading them, probably the best $14 I ever spent in my entire life. Basically, Bangai is a giant, I don't want to call it a puzzler, but basically there's no other really way to describe it. It's a shooter, but not really. Basically, you take this robot, which is called Bangai, I guess. I never played the Dreamcast original to catch the story, because there's basically no story here. But, basically, you are this little tiny robot, and we're talking tiny on your DS screen. And you're just running through enemies after enemies after waves of enemies, and this game is hard. This game is hard. You go through little short maps of challenges, and we're talking about 160 plus maps. You can create your own maps, you can trade maps. This game has endless replayability. It's very cheap if you buy it, but it's very hard to find, especially where I'm from. If you watch my videos, you'll probably find out where I'm from, but that's not where this is about. It's a very good game, and if you download it, very small ROM, so give it a chance. Next, we have Castlevania. Now, I do not have Dawn of Sorrow or Order of Ecclesia on here because I have beaten both Dawn of Sorrow and Order of Ecclesia. They're not on here. Not that I think they suck, but I did not beat Portrait of Ruin, so it is on here. And I have not really played Portrait of Ruin, but it's a Castlevania game. You know what a Castlevania game is? I don't really have to explain much. Moving on. Daigatsu Band Brothers. I have not played much of this game. It is an import. We were supposed to get it. It was supposed to be called Jam with the Band, but we never got it. Basically, it's a music game. You use your not your touchscreen. You don't use your touchscreen at all, basically. You use your D-pad and your buttons to hit notes. Your red notes are D-pad and your buttons are blue notes. And basically you play through the song, go to whatever difficulty you want. There's tons of songs, some that you might know, some that you probably never heard of in your entire life. And you just play through the song. From what I played, there's not really a goal. I mean, you can play goal-oriented songs, but you can just play for fun, just like any other music game. Dragon Ball Origins. Now, mind you, the majority of any game based on an anime suck. Okay? I will say that to anyone. They suck. Mostly suck. The only games that I wouldn't recommend, that I wouldn't put in that category are any Ultimate Ninja game. Anyone. Except for the portable ones for PSP, they suck. And, Ninja Storm, which is an Ultimate Ninja game, and not Tenkaichi, Budokai before it became Tenkaichi. Those are the only anime games that I would that would be put in the anime category that don't suck. Dragon Ball Origins also does not suck. Actually pretty good, even though the story is basically none. There's none. Like, you get like basic information about where Goku came from, how he teamed up with Bulma. This is Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball. And you basically go through. These missions are really repetitive and really, really long. We're talking about like 10-minute missions, and there's tons of them. But you get a really good basis of what the story for Dragon Ball actually is, to an extent. And the gameplay is very fun. If you played Ninja Gaiden Dragon Sword, which is not on here, sorry for anyone who automatically thought that Ninja Gaiden Dragon Sword was going to be on it. I don't like it. I don't. The gameplay is similar to that, where you use the touchscreen for everything. And while I didn't think it worked for Ninja Gaiden, it actually really works well for Dragon Ball Origins. Dragon Quest IV. Now, the reason I don't have 5 on here is because it's a waste of space, and if I didn't beat 4, I'm not going to want to play 5. Basically, Dragon Quest is as traditional as RPGs can get. It's not like Final Fantasy, which is also made by Square Enix. Basically, your battles are turn-based. You walk everywhere. There is no quick way to get to where you want to go. Everything is full on-the-ground traditional. If you like games that will challenge the shit out of you, because Dragon Quest is meant to be hard. It's not a little kid's RPG where it's like one enemy and you hit it once, so run away and you'll get a chance. No. This game will piss you off, but it's still good fun. Running low on time here, so I will do one last game. Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon. I am a fan of Fire Emblem, not every single Fire Emblem, because I didn't beat Sacred Stone because I just couldn't get into it, but the very first Fire Emblem that came out for GBA was ingenious. It was an awesome game. This game, not the greatest Fire Emblem in the series, but it's still, you still get a really good strategy RPG out of it. That's basically it. It's a good strategy RPG. For people that have played Melee and Brawl and like Marth, I like Marth, so I kind of wanted to pick this up. You get the original Fire Emblem. This is a remake of the very first Fire Emblem that was made for the Famicom. So that is the first part of my R4 special that was remade because people wanted to see it. And second part third part coming up soon.